Hey, all you wonderful rock buds out there, it's Rock Papa. Hope you all had a fantastic Thanksgiving and are looking forward to a happy holiday season like Grammy and I are. Today we're going to talk about the many faces of quartz. Quartz is one of the most abundant minerals on the earth. Water percolating through the crust picks up quartz in solution, moves it around, and deposits it in many interesting locations, many interesting colors, and many interesting forms that we're going to look at. I'll explain to you how quartz is deposited in its many different forms, and then we'll look at a whole lot of beautiful pictures of the many forms of quartz, and we'll talk about how they form and what makes them so colorful. So stay tuned for that, and I hope you like this video. So please subscribe. Thank you a million to all my wonderful, excellent subscribers. I totally appreciate you guys so immensely. I feel like you're all my friends. So here we go, the many faces of quartz. There are three types of quartz that I know of based on crystal size. First, there's MacroCrystallin Quartz, also called Big Crystalline Quartz. You're all familiar with these beautiful six-sided quartz crystals that are called MacroCrystallin Quartz. But MacroCrystallin Quartz can also come in big crystals like this pink quartz that don't have the six-sided structure, and like this pegmatite that doesn't have the six-sided structure. Main thing to remember is with MacroCrystallin Quartz, you can see the quartz crystals with your naked eye or with a hand lens. Next comes MicroCrystalline Quartz, also called CryptoCrystallin Quartz, and that is examples of quartz where the crystal sizes are microscopic. Examples of MicroCrystalline Quartz would be chert, petrified wood, and the many forms of chalcedony, which we will get into later. And finally, there is Amorphous Quartz. That is quartz that has no crystals in it at all, and it's the same thing as glass. Examples would be obsidian, which is volcanic glass, and the beautiful multicolored opal. Hey guys, now let's take a look at some of the ways that quartz forms in Mother Nature. This picture represents a subduction event in which a volcanic island chain is being created off the coast of a continent. Lots of ocean water is going down into the subduction trench and picking up all kinds of elements and minerals, including quartz, from the hot magma. This black smoker is a prime example. The material coming out of this black smoker is an extremely hot mineral and element soup that heats up the ocean water around it, and the ocean water is laden with all this stuff, is flushed through sediments on the flanks of the volcanoes. It creates a zone of hydrothermal alteration where elements like gold and silver and minerals like kyanite, rutile, and quartz can be deposited. Here's a close-up of one of these island arc volcanoes. Here you can see several volcanic magma chambers. These magma chambers can cool to form quartz-rich granite and quartz-rich granite pegmatites. When island arcs and continents crash into each other, you get many fault lines like these black lines in this picture running northeast to southwest. Quartz veins and quartz cavities form all along these fault lines as water, often hot water, percolates through them. This is a red-hot basalt lava flow. It could be from a rifting event. Hot gases escaping from the lava create gas bubbles. And as the lava cools into rock, many of the gas bubbles remain as cavities of all sizes in the basalt rock. Over maybe millions of years, silica-rich water flows into these cavities, depositing quartz bodies of all kinds of beautiful colors and all kinds of interesting names that we'll get into a little later here. Cavities can also form in the limey mud that hardens into limestone. Maybe a big mud ball It gets trapped in the limey mud, and it's rich in silicon, and over time, water percolates through there, depositing various kinds of quartz. Hey guys, let's take a closer look at MacroCrystallin Quartz. Okay guys, so we know that quartz forms in faults, and look at this area around Hot Springs, Arkansas with the multiple faults. This video shows a dig in the Hot Springs area where this guy's pulling out a gigantic six-sided crystal of MacroCrystallin Quartz. All that red clay is very rich in silica, and hot water associated with tectonic activities in the faults picked it up and grew this magnificent crystal. Here's the typical six-sided MacroCrystallin Quartz. There are no impurities in here, so it's clear. And this is beautiful citrine. It's just MacroCrystallin Quartz with the six-sided crystals with iron impurities giving the beautiful color. And here we have smoky quartz, and aluminum impurities make that beautiful smoky color. Bits of the mineral tourmaline are probably what gives this blue quartz its blue color. We're talking about red quartz. It's incrustations of iron, probably hematite iron, that give it its red color. And here's everybody's favorite, amethyst. And the purple color in amethyst comes when the quartz crystals are irradiated with natural radiation, probably radon, which a lot of granite and granite ice bodies emit. This is pink quartz, also called rose quartz, and the beautiful pink color is caused by aligned silicate fibers. Pink quartz or rose quartz is almost always found in granite pegmatites, and rarely do you see it in six-sided crystals, but it is MacroCrystallin Quartz nonetheless. We've already looked at red quartz, and here is the MacroCrystallin form without the six-sided crystals. Impurities of the mineral tourmaline and other minerals give the blue to blue quartz. And the reason these examples of MacroCrystallin Quartz don't exhibit the six-sided crystal structure probably relates to the available space for growth. Growing space was tight, so the crystals are packed in there. This is green quartz, also called praseolite, and it is very, very rare in nature. But in the jewelry trade, jewelers will take amethyst and subject it to great heat, and sometimes it will turn a pretty green, and that's where most of the so-called green quartz on the market comes from today. Here we have vein quartz, and it is MacroCrystallin Quartz. Tectonic pushing and shoving creates a crack. Silicon-laden water deposits quartz in that crack. This happens over and over as the crack gets larger, and so you get a quartz vein. Quartz vein rock is almost always white quartz, also called milky quartz, and the whitish color is due to tiny microscopic inclusions of air and water. In the absence of flint or chert, the southeastern Indians preferred milky quartz for spear and arrowheads. Hey rock buds, now let's get into CryptoCrystallin, also called MacroCrystallin forms of quartz. As you remember, MacroCrystallin quartz is quartz crystals that are microscopic in size. The chert for these arrowheads formed in chert nodules in limestone. And it's iron impurities like hematite in the chert that give it the color. This is flint. It's just a black version of chert, also forms in limestone in nodules, and the black color is probably due to iron and manganese impurities. This is ribbon chert, and it forms when microscopic particles of silica dust, probably blown off of sand dunes, floats way out into the ocean and settles down in the deep ocean in layers. The deep ocean's cold, so limestone can't form, and the ribbon chert is able to accumulate in these layers. And once again, the red color is due to iron impurities. We're looking at petrified wood from the petrified forest in Arizona. Here, an ancient forest of trees was knocked down and covered up by a tremendous fall of silica-rich volcanic tuff. Over millions of years, water percolating through the tuff picked up silica in solution and made an actual exact copy of the organic structure of the tree. The volcanic tuff also contributed iron, manganese, copper, and other elements that provided the gorgeous colors here. And now for chalcedony and its many forms with many different names. They used to think that chalcedony in all its varieties was a fibrous version of CryptoCrystallin Quartz, but now they know it has a substantial amount of a new kind of quartz called moganite. Moganite is the same chemical formula as silica, it just has a different crystal structure. And this unique crystal structure apparently facilitates the formation of these multicolored bands that chalcedony in its many forms are famous for. We are looking at agate, which is a form of chalcedony. Lake Superior is a great place to find agates. Over 1 billion years ago, there was a huge rift that occurred where Lake Superior is now. Basalt level spewed out all over the place there, and when it cooled, it had all these big air bubbles frozen in it, and over millions of years, silica-rich water came into those air bubbles and filled them up with beautiful examples of CryptoCrystallin quartz, and we now call those agates or agates. Over time, the basalt eroded away, and the agates, which are more resistant to erosion, fell out and got washed onto the shore. This is onyx. Onyx is exactly like agate. It's a form of chalcedony, except that with onyx, the different colored bands are more parallel instead of concentric. Now for jasper. Jasper is a form of chalcedony that is a mixture of MacroCrystallin Quartz and that special kind of quartz called moganite. Iron compounds give the colors to jasper. Carnelian is a reddish-brown variety of chalcedony, and once again, iron is responsible for the colors. Hey, faithful rock buds, thanks for hanging in so far. We're almost done, but we need to take a look at amorphous forms of quartz. Amorphous means there's no crystal structure whatsoever. We're talking about basically the same thing as glass. So let's take a look. Most of us are familiar with obsidian, which is volcanic glass. It can form when felsic tuff from a volcano falls directly into water or snow and cools so quickly that no crystal structures have time to form. The black color comes from inclusions of magnetite and iron oxides, and the lighter colors come from inclusions of other elements or minerals, like cristobalite. This stuff makes fantastic spearheads, arrowheads, cutting blades, etc., and the Indians took advantage of this. This is the Obsidian Cliff in Yellowstone National Park, and it formed when the Yellowstone volcano erupted about 600,000 years ago. And finally, let's take a look at opal. Opal is a hydrated form of amorphous quartz. Obviously, it has no crystal structure at all, and it usually contains around 10% water. There are two kinds of opal. There's precious opal and common opal. Precious opal has the beautiful swirls of iridescent color, and that is caused by tiny sphericals of silicon that refract the light and make this iridescence. Common opal doesn't display the iridescence or reflectance of precious opal, but it comes in a variety of colors, and each form has its name that I'm not going to get into because it's very detailed. Okay, rock buds, that's it for the many faces of quartz. This has not been an exhaustive coverage of that subject, and it hasn't been very detailed. I just wanted to give you guys a kind of overview of the many faces of quartz. Thank you so much for watching. If it was useful, please subscribe. And this is your Rock Papa saying have a wonderful day to all my rock buds, and happy rock hunting. Papa out.